back to this software company I used to work for. They're based in the US, and they came to my team to help them tell their story. They had this idea that they were going to create very technical white papers, but dozen pages, and using terms like, well, the terms that I said that would put you to sleep, so I'll save you that trouble. They wanted to put together a whole bunch of these reports and white papers and circulate them to Canadian media and let them decipher it and write stories about it. Well, that's one way of doing things. It's an expensive way of doing things, and particularly because you're going to reach an audience of maybe about 100 people. And so we came to them with a different approach. And so about 3 weeks after we started working with them, I heard a story, and it's 100% real. It's a husband and wife team. They're entrepreneurs. They ran a call center in, I think it was Winnipeg, somewhere out there. They were running it for years, very much in an office like this. And after many years, they decided that they were going to renovate. And so they stripped everything to the bricks, and they rebuilt, and it was just beautiful, and everybody was happy. So one Friday, just after the renovations, one Friday, just before everybody was about to go home for the weekend, they locked the doors. And upstairs in the bathroom, a little fitting that was worth about 99 cents on the back of the toilet broke, and everything overflowed. So it overflowed Friday night, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, to the point where the second floor actually collapsed down onto the first floor. So the point I'm trying to get here is that 3 weeks before this flood, this catastrophic flood, everything was destroyed, everything was gone. They did something that was completely out of character, which is they probably talked to a guy like Esteban here about backup software. So all of their data was put somewhere else. Now before this, all they really did is they probably saved things to a disk or a $100 external hard drive that they picked up at Best Buy. And that might have been tucked in a drawer somewhere. And it would have gone out the door in a wave like all the rest of their technology and was destroyed. But as I said, they were very fortunate in that just a few very short weeks before, everything was backed up remotely. So in a matter of a couple of days, they were back up and running. So without that backup software, and again, I haven't even really explained to you what the backup software does, but we talked about earlier about how much of our lives revolve around important data. Well, within a matter of a couple of days, they were back up and running, but without that, they would have been sued by their clients. They wouldn't have been able to pay their employees. There's 40 people that were dependent on that data as well. So it is about that relatable story. While many of you here may not be an entrepreneur, you may not be running a call center, you can sort of envision what that must feel like when you lose everything. So that was the kind of story that we wanted to tell. Now, of course, they still wanted their technical papers, and they got them. That's fine. We sent those off to the 100 people that could understand them. But we actually pitched that story to the Globe and Mail, and they ran with it. And they wrote this fantastic story all about the value of this kind of backup data protection. And within a matter of weeks, or I think it was probably about 7 or 8 days, 500,000 people had read that story, and inbound calls about this particular software had spiked.